One night, I had a dream. In the dream, I looked around and found myself in a temple I've never seen before. The architecture and the landscaping were unique, to say the least. Through the whispering of people around me, I heard that it was Pumunsa, a temple located in Seoul and where I used to grow up nearby. But it certainly wasn't the one I know. The world was bathed in this deep, cold blue like the break of dawn, and the air felt surprisingly cool and refreshing. The ground was covered in these tiny, fine jade pebbles. Even the altars where people were bowing were covered in them. I remember thinking to myself, gosh, bowing on those is going to ruin someone's knees. The buildings were low-slung with soft, flowing curves. The outdoor walkways connecting them were open on the sides but covered by eaves. It actually reminded me a bit of the Summer Palace in Beijing. Surrounding the temple were magnificent mountains, layered one after another like giant folding screens. Standing at the entrance looking out, I saw a trail following a stream to the left, and a steep mountain path climbing upward to the right. Inside one of the grand halls, there was a crowd gathered, and people were lining up to bow at the Buddha-looking altar in the center. Even though I knew I was in a temple, the line felt strangely like a queue for Holy Communion during a Catholic Mass. While waiting, I could hear a monk's voice giving a sermon that felt exactly like a priest homily. And somewhere in the back of my mind, I had this vague feeling that a soul of someone I once knew, someone who had passed, was present there, lingering around me. When it was finally my turn to bow, I stepped forward and saw my eldest and youngest aunts among the guides. I didn't know why they were there, but strangely, I didn't question it. It just felt perfectly natural, as if they had always belonged in that spot. Bowing on those pebbles didn't hurt at all. It was actually quite comfortable. After finishing my bows and merging back into the crowd to leave, someone suddenly covered my eyes with hands from behind, like a playful, guess who? The hands were pale, bluish tint and ice cold to the touch. In that moment I realized this person isn't among the living. But I wasn't scared. It felt as ordinary as any other day. I turned around to see a girl smiling brightly at me. My dream self knew her as a close older sister, Unni. I didn't recognize her face at all, yet I felt an undeniable bond of friendship with her. We chatted for a bit, feeling happy for the reunion, and then I suggested we climb that steep mountain path that I found on the right of the temple. For a second did she hesitate, but eventually she agreed to come along. We started up the trail, laughing and chatting as if it were just a casual stroll, when suddenly I started to cry. I looked at her in tears and said, "I am so relieved you're here by my side." She just stares at me quietly for a moment. Then, with a sudden burst of energy, she challenges me to a race. She doesn't say any other words, but I just know she's trying to break the spell of my dark mood. I wipe my tears and start running with her. At first, we are sprinting through a lush forest, but soon the path turns into narrow, jagged rocks. We leap precariously over the stones. I catch a glimpse of the temple to my right. It is getting smaller and smaller far below. the slope becoming terrifyingly steep. It feels like I could tumble down at any second, but somehow I keep my footing and run on. The breath is catching in my throat. My lungs begin to tighten with the rush, and suddenly I'm snapped out of the dream. And I wake up.